Yeah, much better. That's all right.
It's always a bit scary when you hear that.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be downstairs if anything.
No worries. There's also power in that room as well if you ever need.
Oh, is there? Yeah,
It's
perfect.
that room's actually got power. And you can also run like extension leads up here too.
Mine's not quite long enough.
Yeah. There might be one in there super long as well if you need to.
We'll see how we go. I think I
need
need
it
it
at half time or anything. Yeah.
I just realised it's a half hour.
Yeah, sweet. He might be out for a few weeks. I saw him in the moon boot over there on the crutches. You can't really afford to have players going down injured on this. Yeah, I think he started 2 games last year. So it's just starting to feel aging. Out. Must have some depth if they've got all their kids pushed up a bit too. Hey, Joey! Must be the strongest team in NPL is in tracksuits here today that I've seen at an NPL game in my life. Boys on the other side. Didn't realise they'll warm up out on the Phoenix pitch out there. Yeah, I think like the busiest leagues have been trained as well. The oldest play so you can still have lots of people. Do you reckon the rules, the page changes that are coming this year are having an impact already? No? Not really, because again, because it's like it stipulates up to 23. You're talking about something that's the oldest you can go something that's 22 to 21. That one has a line. It's over now anyway. So like 20 to 21 is not the stage you get forced to play someone. And again, these clubs, because they've been here for to stay there. They get a big team that doesn't really affect. I think the smaller team all the time. Went over the line, number 16! Yeah, just always the requirements. I still like they brought in that keeper as a 22-year-old, so he can down as one of the 23s. It's kind of clever, I guess, if you find him a keeper. I was thinking, like, if you had a sub-keeper as one of your 120, then you stop one of your under 20s, but you're not going to play him though, so you're missing the point, I suppose. But yeah, you need to get around it, I suppose. I always. Yeah, as soon as a rule comes in, it's like, how can we? Yeah. It's literally that, isn't it?
It's just like... really hard. It's hard to try and force the box to...
Yeah.
It's not really fair.
You'd rather it happened in a more organic way. And then it kind of started happening organically in the A-League since COVID, really, didn't it? Like, it just became this level.
It's never really happened.
Yeah.
Relatively.
Yeah, maybe in like different states. States where it's not as strong.
But then you look at Midfield one, it's a relatively young league. There's a lot of young players.
Does VPL 1 have any age restriction rules?
No, it just has the basic.
Just the basic rules. Because now is it two foreigners plus one Asian / OC? Yeah, is that right? So you bring them to, or you need someone who's lived here for like years, then you can not count them.
But then you look at Midfield, nearly every squad's got a good player. So that's where a lot of
Yeah, I kind of almost get fatigued now in like when we're like introducing a player who signed for a club. It's like, oh yeah, he was at Victory, he was at City, or he was at Western. It's like every single player by default. Yeah, it's like almost like of course they've been at one of those clubs. Yeah. They're a talented young player that's at that level and you can make it to. Yeah.
Ça arrête, que c'est.
That's huge numbers.
Did they have this sort of training? I assume they would have done some session.
Yeah. We've done a session together on Thursday. So basically, like, a lot of these guys who are starting so young on the bench online, they just didn't use them.
Yeah.
But even still, like, getting prepped for the game to potentially come on and do all your months and stuff, that could be, like, like there's some kind of routine mentally going into doing it again. Yeah. And then knowing that they've got to play like a normal sort of week coming up. They got Bentley next Saturday, a home game at Rockwood.
Yeah.
And then they play Gully on Friday. And then straight away they got to fly to play Vanilla United, Solomon.
Yankee, first contact,
And 2 days
Tommy!
later,
Tommy, size him up! Match him up, Tommy!
away in the league. So, yeah.
This is what game on before.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yep.
Yeah. And I look over and he's just gone to sleep in the dugout or something. That's it. Let's look at the rain radar again. Just hold tabbing between dribble and ball at the moment. That's how you got to be. Looks alright.
Chris. Thank you. It is, isn't it? It's hard getting your luggage up the stairs, that's for sure.
When I turned it on, Michael Weir wasn't involved. There was only a hitting goal at the end. I went out to St Albans last night. I saw him there watching the crowd play. Yeah, I'm not sure if he was I think I'm going to fresh out next week. Got you in. They need to get a result or each other. All right, do you want to do a sound check? There's a headset if you prefer it, don't have to use it, up to you.
Alright, let's have a little go. Okay. This is Steve on mic 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello and welcome to Paisley Park in Altona North. It's a humid Saturday night for this one between Altona and South Melbourne. And we'll welcome Matt Sultana into the sound check as well. Matt, how are you?
Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You could be a little louder.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just
Yeah,
speak
it's
up,
all right.
it's
Yeah, yeah. I'll pull mine a little bit further back, and you hold yours fairly close, and then yeah, sweet.
Oh, there's a slight feedback still though.
I'll turn that down. How's that?
No difference.
Still there?
Yeah. Have a listen. Just on the left there. You hear that?
Yeah. It's probably not a bad sign that it's only one side. Like it might be.
Oh, it's always like that because of the way this is set up.
Yeah.
Because your right ear is my FX mic. So all commentator audio comes to number one. Anyway. Yeah. Maybe I'll just ask the studio if they can do it. It might just be our end.
Yeah, we'll see if we can. It might not be terrible.
I don't think it's a problem if it goes live like that.
Might be okay.
It's not very noticeable.
I'll just check that I haven't got any of my wires crossed down here or anything. It'd be a little bit of power. Actually, put it on again. I just wonder if I take out any of these things and it changes. Nope. Same?
Yep.
That's all right. It might just be that's how it sounds.
Yeah.
Can't see anything obviously wrong. The only thing would be my... You don't have a second XLR.
I do, yeah.
Do you want to try that instead of
switch
mine?
that out,
So I just
yeah.
noticed mine when I got out of the bag is a little bit...
There's an easy fix.
If it fixes it, it's a win. Same thing or different?
Wider.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Oh, I see. I don't know.
Yeah, if we see if anyone complains about it, and then
Exactly.
if they do, we'll just tell them.
Yeah. Not that I can do, yeah.
Suck it up. Great.
The studio doesn't seem fast, so...
That's great. Brightness, there we go. Yep. Looks up here in this spot. Yeah. It's not quite high enough.
It's gonna suck if it rains.
Oh, it's terrible if it rains. It looks like it's alright for the first half. Just reevaluate at half time.
Yeah, I got soaked this all day.
Oh, did you? When you were somewhere else?
Yeah, Hume City.
Oh, did you do the 2 o'clock game and then get some big day?
Oh, no.
It would have been hot and humid out there. It's
Oh, yeah. It gets cold though as well.
Yeah.
That pitch is cold.
It's weird.
Yeah, I know.
I think
it was dead. There was no crowd.
I think they're doing that sort of on the regular, I think, this season as
really?
well, yeah.
I got soaked last night too at the women's match.
Oh,
I didn't catch a break.
You've had a full-on weekend.
I know. Alright, 1 second. Yeah, I'm chilling whenever you're ready.
Yeah, sir. There's going to be a minute of silence when they walk out, so we'll do a very quick bit and then we'll pause for that.
Cool.
This guy must be naked as well. He's just ready to lose it or something. Hello and welcome. The Senol NPL Victoria arrives at Paisley Park here in Altona for the first time in season 2026 for this round 3 dinner time kickoff between the Altona Magic and South Melbourne, the busiest club in Australian football right now. And as the players assemble on the pitch, we are going to pause for a moment's silence in just a moment for the passing of Trianka Lozanowski, mother of Goran Lozanowski, of course, the Altona coach. So we will pause for a moment. Condolences to all of the Lozanowski family at this difficult time, and our best wishes to Goran, to the passing of his mum, Trianka, this week. Well, an impeccably observed and very moving minute silence here to remember Trianka Lozanowski, mother of Goran Lozanowski, Altona coach, who will be standing in the dugout to try and get his team their second win of the season this afternoon against South Melbourne. South Melbourne, they arrive in Melbourne's West in a unique scenario, playing its second competitive match within the space of 24 hours after seeing off New Zealand outfit South Island United in the OFC Pro League last night. And they look to make it 2 wins in 2 days by claiming a second league victory tonight. Big opportunity for Altona Magic, who have 1 league win to their name already. They can enjoy 3 successive home fixtures starting tonight in their quest to keep moving up the table. Much intrigue in this one ahead of us tonight on a human night in Melbourne's West. We're looking forward to it. Steve Curtin with you to describe this one. Alongside me, it's one of the sharpest footballing minds going around in Victoria. Good evening to you, Matt Sultana.
Hi Steve, very good to be here. Very intriguing fixture obviously between these two sides, South Melbourne and Altona Magic. Altona will be keen to get another 3 points in what's looking like a very congested table in NPL Victoria, and South Melbourne with the big challenge of being to back up a big week and end the week here at the game at Paisley Park.
Absolutely right. Sort of unprecedented territory, this sort of stuff that the OFC Pro League has thrown up this season. Let's take a look at the Altona Magic side. And Johnny Stojcevski is out injured. He's going to be out for a few weeks too. So Liram Almazi, who was a regular here back in the 2019 season, returns to the club, and he starts in central defence alongside the youngster Lachlan Gillard. Also in defence, Alex Gust, Hiyori Kawaguchi. Casey went behind them in goal. In midfield, the man who almost scored the equaliser last week, Garang Aru, Brian Sutumo, the captain Dan Fabrizio in the number 10 role. On the flanks, Aman Sordo, Oliver Callart, and up front is Eric Zhu, the new signing, the Italian-born New Zealander. And it's an interesting-looking south side. Wholesale changes after they played last night. Jake Charleston gets a start in goal. The defence consists of Che Birchmore, Jacob Aliopoulos, Lucas Inglese, Andre Skopoulos. In midfield, Alex Menelau, Jack Pope, Charlie Leach. The wingers are the Doherty Cup star Campbell Doverson, Ishvir Singh, who scored in the league last week, and leading the line tonight, their captain will be Noel Bernardo. We'll get to those subs for you. in a moment as well, as we're all in readiness for kickoff. It's South Melbourne to get us going in their home kit. The Royal Blue playing to the right of your screen, the Port Phillip Bay end of the venue here. Altona will kick to the left of your screen, the Altona Lakes golf course. And as we said in the lead up to this one, Matt, real unique scenario with South having to play 2 matches and their coaching staff and everything having to double up. A lot of these guys in the starting 11 last night were on the bench last night as well in the match. So how do you see their mental fortitude going into this one?
Yeah, it'll be a big challenge. A lot of players on the park with NPL Victoria minutes, but not a lot of them have played together, and the mental fatigue now will be the big thing early in this game for South Melbourne. Can't really understate still how important this fixture is for both sides, who are really desperate to get points out of this one.
Now, man in the middle tonight is Jack Morgan, a name that needs no introduction at this level in terms of officiating. Altona trying to get forward early in this one. The assistant referees, Tom Rushton, Matteo Brazel, fourth official Bailey Panuto, overseeing this one with central referee Jack Morgan. So Altona trying to get the ball up the park early and enjoy possession. And here is Liram Almazi. Just a couple of starts for the Thunder last season. He gets his chance to make his return to the club, where he played some good football, scored a couple of goals back in that 2019 season when he was last here, before he moved to, of course, South Melbourne for a stint there and ending up out at George Andrews. Here's a chance for Callart, getting to the byline, trying to cut it back for Zhu. Reading it better was Inglese. Fabrizio, the man who's got 2 goals in 2 so far in the captain's armband, is dispossessed. Clever by Bernardo and Singh, but they couldn't complete the 1-2, and it's out of play in front of a healthy crowd gathered over there on the far side. Tough conditions tonight as well, Matt. How do you think the players will have to pace themselves in the humidity? It's about 27, 28 degrees and about, what have we got, about 78% humidity here at Kickoff.
Yeah, the humidity is a big factor, and the pitch is very soft here at Paisley Park, so it's a heavy pitch and it's heavy on the legs. They'll definitely have to pace themselves, but both sides' benches are full of young players that will be ready to come on, but expect it to be a real grinding conditions out there for the players.
No doubt. If it's not enough to have to play 2 games in 24 hours for South, they've had to do so in some pretty tough conditions. They had their match in midweek on Tuesday postponed after the home of the Matildas was flooded under a deluge of rain. It's almost like it's the Monsoon Cup at times, the OFC Cup. They'd previously had their match on the South Island in New Zealand in the previous hub, or 2 hubs ago in fact, postponed as well due to an even more severe deluge. So hopefully the upcoming hubs aren't subject to the same kind of torrential rain and match postponements. Ball forward is aimed at Ishveer Singh. Scored within about a minute of coming on at half-time in round 2 against Hume City. Chance here to try the first shot in anger of the match from Sordo, the man who's come across from the North Sunshine Eagles in the 2nd tier Victorian football in the off-season. Good pick-up, he seems like, for Altona.
He's been a very good pick-up for Altona, scoring, I think assisting actually in the first game against Hume City, and he's done well to forge a spot in his starting 11. As Altona do every season, they assemble a very good starting 11, and they really rely on that throughout the year to pick up points. The bit of a test here with Sajowski out and Liram Almazi in, but I think Altona over the years have shown that they're always a hard side to beat.
Well, credit to Goz and his coaching staff. They do such a good job of assembling a competitive team every year. They might not have the budget of clubs like South Melbourne, and often they're tipped to finish in the relegation zone, or by many pundits tipped to take out the wooden spoon this year. But well, they proved a lot of people wrong with that 3-1 win in round 1, and then also taking the lead last week against the more fancied Oakley Cannons away from home. They're doing the defensive work here. Kawaguchi getting across to close down Leach. He'll know these surrounds at Paisley Park very well from his time here a couple of years back. Number 15 there is Birchmore getting a chance, the youngster. Just 20 years of age. Birchmore developed his game at Wesley College. A couple of appearances in the OFC Pro League as well.
The early signs in this game, South Melbourne definitely looking to have control and keep the ball and control the tempo, and probably minimise those counter-attacks that are so devastating for Altona.
And it's going to be Birchmore's throw. Well, the humid conditions, I think the ball might have slipped in his hands there, Matt. It kind of went nowhere. It certainly wasn't like a Max Mikula throw-in. Good skills from Alex Gust here, and well read by Inglesi, stepping out of that central defensive role to knock the ball out of play and stop the attack.
Yeah, no Mikula in the starting lineup, so I'm not sure if we're going to see too many long throws tonight, which we'll see how it plays out, but might be to the detriment of South Melbourne.
Yeah, and also their second option for the long throw, Payne Andrews, also not involved tonight after playing the full 90 last night, so I'm not sure if they've got anyone out there in their 11 who can hurl the ball 30 yards goal-bound. But there is some experienced figures. Aliopoulos there in central defence. He's been a good pickup as well. Didn't play a lot of football last season, coming back from a knee, Rico, and he's looking like he's recapturing, or on the way to recapturing, his best form that we saw him with at Oakley for a number of seasons.
Yeah, really good technical centre-back. Obviously, unfortunately, with the knee injury last season at Green Gully, ended his season quite early, but back playing football now and looking to pick up some important minutes for him.
You can see South early, looking to just control the tempo of this one, which is smart. Bernarda's dropping very deep to pick up the ball here, and here's Leach now.
It's early signs, but that ball is really holding up on this pitch, isn't it?
I'm not sure if there's very scattered thunderstorms coming through last night. I know there was some matches postponed out at Fraser Rise, at Caroline Springs, George Cross today for some of the earlier games. So certainly some areas copped a lot of rain. I'm not sure if it passed through here or not. I didn't cop a lot of rain just up the road, a couple of suburbs to the east of here where I was located, or out at St Albans where I went for a look at the football last night. But it may well have passed through here. It does feel like this venue can be in a bit of a rain band at times from previous visits here. But and often it's quite windy here as well. There's not a breath of wind tonight. You can see the flags around the ground are about as limp as they've ever been at Paisley Park here in Altona North this evening. Let's have a quick look at those subs for Altona on the bench tonight. John Mabok, Owen McCloskey, one of the players coming across from Port Melbourne, the youngster Gavin Tasevsky, who came on last week, Peter Hatzopoulos, and they've also got Brandon Kumaneo, the substitute keeper, and Joffrey Lino gets his first potential appearance for the club this evening. Here's Doverson. Good duel, this one, between Gust and Doverson. Doverson's looking to get to the byline and cut it back, and he does so very well. It's away well by Gillard, though. A young local product from around this neck of the woods, doing a good job, having been called upon to step into central defence. Lachlan Gillard, he's got a upgrade to his shirt number from 34 to number 3 this season, so the club obviously sees him as an integral member of their first team these days.
Yeah, and that's allowed for Aru to move into the midfield, which we saw early in the game against Hume City in round 1, and he looks very capable of being able to play both roles, so it's a really handy pickup for Altona to have a player of his quality that can both play at centre-back but also in the midfield.
Yeah, Garing Aru is probably one that slipped under the radar a little bit in conversations about the off-season signings. Previously with the Newcastle Jets, and made just the one appearance in the A-League last season for them. Good local product from Werribee City, a little bit of time at Green Gully, and yeah, versatile as well. And geez, he was so close to scoring last week as well. That would be equaliser late in the game at Jack Edwards before Salmon went on to double the Cannons lead and give them all 3 points. But not too bad of a performance last week against one of the favourites by Altona last week against Oakley. Ball played forward in front of Bernarda. It was a clever one by Skopoulos. Leach is there. He gets his header on target, and it's one apiece in shots on target so far. Casey Went, the 22-year-old, in all pink tonight. He was fielding that one very easily. Got a gang of BMX bandits passing behind his goal behind him. All the joys of semi-pro football in these lovely suburban grounds. Gillard's touch off the chest showed a little bit too much of it to Leach, but he was able to play it forward. Here's Birchmore, back to Charleston. Not taking any prisoners there as he smacks it forward to Bernarda. Knocked down well to Skopoulos. So those South Melbourne subs for you tonight. James Lackey, Thierry Papadimitriou, the sub-keeper, played a bit of football here Ilya Shalamanov-Trenkov, Ethan O'Sullivan, who started at fullback previous league encounter against Hume City, as well as a couple of youngsters we don't know a lot about, Thomas Killick and Angus Angelatos, getting their chance to be involved in the senior squad. Good exposure for the young kids.
Yeah, South Melbourne always have quite a strong under-23s team that underpin their NPL squad.
Backheel by Singh was clever. Pope was in position to receive it. Altona getting a good amount of numbers back. Long ball aim for Zhu was headed straight back from where it came by Aliopoulos. Callart was the target on the far side. Good duel over there between Callart and the youngster Skopoulos. Skopoulos receiving a little bit of help from the experienced Jacob Aliopoulos that time. So it could be a bit of a slow burn, this one, but either team can break through and get in behind. It could ignite something here, and obvious reason South Melbourne just keen to play with a sensible tempo in this one. Bit of argy-bargy over there in front of the players' race. Jack Morgan will be quick to settle things down.
It hasn't been the most blistering start to a game, this one.
Some of those scores from around the grounds. The live action is out at Fraser Rise. Dandenong Thunder have taken the lead against George Cross, approaching the half-hour mark. They lead by 1-0 at City Vista. Earlier today, a home win for Hume City, making it 2 wins on the bounce after they beat South in their last start. Avondale hadn't scored this season. Put 5 past a hapless Green Gully this afternoon at Avenger Park. So some shockwaves have gone around the NPL Victoria circles this afternoon, Matt.
Yeah, and that table's not really breaking away down the bottom. It's a huge congestion of teams sitting either on 0 points or 3 points. So, points earlier in the season are crucial with the 3 teams going down, and it's been a real struggle for a lot of teams to find early form this year.
Well, it seems like, I'm not sure if there's any differences with the new age restrictions coming in or just the signings and departures of the various clubs, but it seems like at the moment it's one of the most even seasons that we've had for quite a few years going into round 3. And we saw the champions Heidelberg beaten by their team that they defeated in the grand final, Dandenong City, last night at Olympic Village. Kawaguchi on the overlap here. It's going to be picked off by Andre Skopoulos, who's good enough to shield it over the touchline. Beautiful city views in the background here at Paisley Park. We wait for the moment of brilliance that might ignite this match.
I think NPL Victoria probably broke the record this season for the most amount of player transfers. I mean, the amount of player movement this season has really wreaked havoc on a lot of clubs, and obviously the championship playing a part in that in a little bit longer of a season.
No doubt about that. It feels like it's been a changing landscape this year. Look at those skills from Maru there to keep the ball at arm's length from Ishveer Singh. Zhu was the target of the long ball, but it's well read by Inglese, and he even wins the free kick to boot. And the Italian-born New Zealander not too impressed with the decision, but goes against him this time.
A couple of moments where Dylan starts to drop in and link up with the 2 midfielders for South Melbourne. It looks like that could be an avenue to create some opportunities for South.
Well, that's going to be the challenge, isn't it? Those little combinations and the understanding of a starting 11 that hasn't played together in this particular configuration of personnel, at least, too often. Trying to get the early throw in front of Bernardo. He's going to be key tonight, but so he doesn't want to try and pick up the wheelbarrow and try and push it all himself. He needs to integrate with the teammates that are in that front 3. Ishveer Singh and also Campbell Doverson. sure he's keen for a next chapter to be written on the end of his Doherty Cup heroics from last season, coming on at half-time and scoring a double to win the game for South.
Yeah, it was a season that didn't start too well for South Melbourne, but ended on a big high with a cup win and obviously the championship win as well at the end of the year. So I think Sinisa did a really good job coming into South Melbourne last season and restabilising them and being able to pick up silverware in his first tenure at the club.
And it's a season that started at that point in time, I suppose, and it hasn't really stopped since. They haven't really paused for breath. So let's just see how the coming weeks go. They've got a lot of football ahead of them. The next week or so is back to standard operating procedure, so to speak. They'll be playing a home match next Saturday out at the home of the Matildas against the Bentley Greens before another league match against Green Gully on the Friday night away. And then they're off again into another hub for more Pacific Island football action against Vanuatu United and the Solomon Kings. Liram Almazi there to make the intervention. Good to see him back here at Paisley Park. Such an iconic sort of footballer. He played at South as a defensive midfielder at times, and he's back into that customary central defensive role here tonight for Goran Lozanovski's side.
Probably one of the most experienced central defenders there is in NPL Victoria currently. Obviously hasn't played a lot of football the last 2 seasons, but really before COVID was probably one of the most prominent players in his position.
Yeah, just the 2 starts for him last year at the Thunder. So, approaching 120 games and 4 goals to his name as well. He's also been a threat from set pieces. Wonder if that will continue here on his return to his former club. Here's Aru trying to play the ball forward for Jude. Good turn as well. And he's been manhandled by Lucas Inglese, should I say. Yellow card's going to be coming out of the pocket here from Jack Morgan, and Inglese goes into the book.
Every time Altona try and break away, it looks like South are just trying to foul them and stop the game and really disrupt those counter-attacks for Altona. But as you see there, it only works for so long before players start coming into the book.
Well, that's one central defender on the yellow ticket already, early in this one. Inside 17 minutes. So it's going to be the 19-year-old Gillard to take the free kick. Looking for Sordo out wide. That's a great first touch by the Moroccan-born winger as he looks to play the ball to the underlapping fullback Alexander Gust. He couldn't quite find him. Birchmore's done well there, the youngster. Gets a round of applause from the South fans who, hats off to them. They've had a lot of football to attend and they've arrived in good numbers to our left of our broadcast position here. Off the chest by Kawaguchi. Callard is out wide. Can he get a cross in? He gets around Skopoulos. It's a low ball straight into the waiting grasp of Aliopoulos. He's not got much on up down the line. Aru. Does look good on the ball, doesn't he, Garang Aru? Kawaguchi goes down, wins the free kick right in front of the canteen over there on the far side, which is, as always, doing a good trade here this afternoon, or this evening, at this dinner time kickoff. This one kicking off at 6:15 local time.
This will be a test for this young South Melbourne team to see how they deal with this set piece with the likes of Aru and Liram Almazi going up.
The younger keeper in charge tonight in Charleston. He's got 2 in the wall. So it looks like we're going to get the in-swinging delivery here. It's a decent ball in too. Almazi's there. Liram Almazi. Almost the perfect return, but he's foiled by the assistant referee's flag, which went up in a flash and denied what would have been a great story for Liram Almazi returning to his former club with a bang until the offside flag went up and spoiled the party. It had to be a close call. Well, that nearly brought the game to life, but it might have, in fact, As Altona come forward again, Kawaguchi's cross, it's too long for Zhu. Well, they seem a little bit more G'd up all of a sudden, do the magic after being denied there. So it was Kawaguchi's delivery from the free kick. Really good ball in. Hard to tell from that view. Almazi must have just been ahead of the defensive line as the ball was played in.
Hard to tell. There was no protest either from the South Melbourne players. Almazi fell to his knees once he saw the flag go up. He couldn't believe it. But they'll take confidence out of that, and you know that gives them that little bit of a boost now to know they've hit the back of the net once. And for South Melbourne, I wonder if that's going to affect the psyche of some of these younger players that they've just conceded.
Yeah, really good point you make there, Matt, that South just seemed to drop their heads. They didn't raise any arms at all in protest. Here's Sutamo. His ball goes backwards towards Alex Gust. Sordo running out of ideas as the breeze just starts to pick up here a tiny bit. Might cool things down a little bit on the a warm Saturday afternoon that it's been in Melbourne.
I think Dylan just goes to the ground far too easily there. I think at this level in this league, the physicality that these games are played at, he needs to do a lot better to try and hold that ball up.
And you think Liram Almazi, you love playing against someone who isn't really up for showing he's not maybe up for the physical battle. I'm sure there'll be some advice to Ishveer Singh maybe at half-time if needed. Here's Pope. Jack Pope on his non-preferred side. Fabrizio, he's been not shown much space, closed down by Menela every time he's got the ball so far. Inglese, it bounced awkwardly in front of him. Zhu had a piece of the shirt there, but blindsided was the referee, and he goes down in the box. What's the decision here? It's going to be a penalty for Altona. Wowee, what a key moment in this match. And Eric Zhu, the off-season signing, he's got the better of Inglese, and he's won the spot kick here. It might be in controversial circumstances, but Altona are going to be wrapped with the chance to make it 1-0 here against South.
Yeah, I mean, there may have been an earlier foul leading up to it, but the penalty was no doubt a penalty. Dylan's copping an absolute spray here from Sinisa. One thing that's definitely been noticeable early in this fixture is that South Melbourne press has just not been happening at all, and they've just allowed Altona to progress up the pitch on transition far too easily.
Well, it's going to be Jake Charleston trying to keep out this shot from the Moroccan-born former North Sunshine Eagle, Ayman Sordo. He scored 5 in just 8 games in the second tier last year. And this is his big moment for his opportunity to give his new side the lead here. Sordo versus Charleston. And Sordo, it took a touch off Charleston, but it finds its way in, and Altona Magic have the lead. They've toiled away, and they're probably getting the lead that they deserve. They've probably been the better side in the last 10 minutes. Zhu winning the penalty. Sordo maybe with a touch of fortune off Charleston, but they won't care. Altona lead in this all-important clash for the Magic here at Paisley Park.
They've been good value for these last 10 minutes, Altona, and they're in the lead now 1-0. And Paisley Park is a very difficult place to come to, and 1-0 down now for South Melbourne is going to be a big challenge for them, because one thing we've seen from Altona over the years is they don't shoot many goals here at Paisley.
Well, it's the best possible start. They had the earlier opportunity ruled out for offside against Liram Almazi. Sordo stepped up from the spot. Looked like he just played it down the middle and relied on Charleston to dive out of the way. Fully committed to the dive to his left was Charleston, and you could hear it through our effects mic there, taking a touch off the body of the South Melbourne shot stopper, but still going all the way through into the goal.
South will be looking to the likes of Bernarda and Dylan and Inglesi now to really step up and try and get them back in this contest.
It's a direct ball by Inglesi. Good touch by Pope. He might keep it in and plays it across the face of goal. Bernarda's lining up. Charlie Leach with his back to goal, away by Aru. A bright moment for South, and the attack might continue here. It's Aru and Bernarda. Good defending by Aru, but Bernarda still gets it in. It's Ishfir Singh who fires the shot on the turn.
Could have been the perfect response from South Melbourne, and Bernarda was nowhere near the box there to finish that at the back post. It was a perfect cross from Jack Pope, and
just
should have
needed
been
someone there at the top of the six, didn't it? Wow. Jack Pope doing really well to hunt that ball down and keep it in play and keep it alive.
Great touch there in the box to set up the cross as well from Pope.
Well, you just feel like this is Jack Pope's time to shine. He doesn't always get as many match minutes as he might like. He's capable of the spectacular. We've seen him scoring some long-range goals. One at Knight Stadium last season comes to mind, and Inglese has to make the clearance here. Fabrizio was lurking just behind his shoulder if he hadn't. Sutamo. Brian Sutamo, the off-season signing coming down from the Gold Coast. On a couple of players that have come down from the Gold Coast. Casey Went coming down from the Gold Coast Knights after 3 seasons there to take the #1 goalkeeping spot.
As is the player exchange between NPL Victoria and NPL Queensland. We tend to get the ones that are looking to progress their careers and then send the ones that are looking to wind up their careers back up there.
Well, I think Jamie Young's headed up there this season, has he not, from NPL Victoria as one example of that? It is the retirement state, isn't it? You got the Sunshine Coast up there and the weather that does appeal to retirees. And also ageing footballers perhaps too. Just had enough of getting out and training on those Tuesdays and Thursday nights when it's about 9 or 10 degrees in Melbourne and raining sideways. Is Al-Mazi getting to the ball ahead of Singh again. You can see the young group of South Melbourne substitutes warming up there just near the corner flag.
South Melbourne just look like they're bereft of any energy out there.
Well, how much will this schedule that they've been trying to juggle take toll in the coming weeks? That's the big question, and could we see that toll start to be being applied already? Sordo, the goal scorer, if you have just joined us, it's his penalty that separates the two sides. Here's the captain, Fabrizio. Over the top is Callard, who got his foot to it. He didn't manage to hit it with any great ferocity, and Charleston was able to field it easily. And Altona holding all the aces here at the moment, Matt.
Yeah, another goal for Altona might just do the trick for them in this fixture. They're a team that if you let them get 1 or 2 goals ahead, they're not going to concede to 1 or 2 that easily. So, for South Melbourne, it's really now and ever. They've got to kind of find a way into this contest and show some sort of danger.
Well, here's Leach. That was clever by Charlie Leach. He led Al-Mazi a merry dance, and he goes all the way, and he almost fired it in at the near post. And look at the defensive effort to track back from Garang Aru. Absolutely top class.
Another good moment from one of the South Melbourne midfielders. First it was Pope, now it's Leach who gets themselves into the box, and that seems to be their avenue to goal, is these forward runs from these midfielders in behind, and really good recovery there from Aru to stop that chance, and a good save from Casey Wen as well. Casey Went, not the biggest goalkeeper in NPL Victoria. I wonder if that's going to be something that South Melbourne will look to target now.
He's probably appreciating that there's no Max Mickler or Jack Painter-Andrews in the lineup for the long throws this afternoon, but nonetheless he's being crowded a little bit. He's got someone who's even shorter than him in Sutamo to try and keep the defence, the South players away from him. It's dangerous here. Inglese and Aliopoulos were right at the centre of that attack, and they just couldn't direct the ball goal bound. It just bounced a little bit too high, I think, a little bit awkwardly, and as it can do off the surface here, and eventually Altona can breathe a sigh of relief.
Good delivery there, and South clearly have a massive height advantage compared to Altona on this set piece, and they probably feel like they got away with it, that one, Altona.
I think Brian Sutamo is only 169 centimetres, and that's probably being generous, as one of the players who was trying to do the defensive duties there. So Casey Wentz going to send this one long. Midway through this first half, Altona good value for their 1-0 lead. Ivan Sordo from the spot, past Jake Charleston, who got a touch. Couldn't keep it out. Almazi, no nonsense there.
Bernard is finding it really challenging to get into this game. So far, he's not had much of an influence on it. Seems very frustrated and isolated on that left-hand side.
Let's see if they can find a way to integrate their attacking lineup here. Look at Sordo there. He's high on confidence. That's when you know Altona's playing well, when you've got players doing bicycle kicks in their own half. Last year it was Habib who was playing here, who was noted for trying things like that on the wing. Here's Zoo getting forward here, the New Zealander. What's he got up his sleeves? He looks to take on Inglese. He plays it into the back post area. There's not really anyone at home for Altona. Goran Loznovsky will be pleased to see him getting more and more involved in the game. He's number 9, I'm sure. Committed by Almazi. Took down Doverson and might go into the book here. Liram Almazi, it's not really all worked out in his favour this afternoon. A yellow card and a disallowed goal.
Looks like he's come off second best there.
Yeah, he's feeling the pinch, and they can't afford any more defenders going down injured. Yeah, Brandon Lawton, albeit a midfielder, a defensive midfielder, already out missing since round 1. The experienced figure of Johnny Stoichevsky, as we saw, arriving on crutches with a moon boot here. He looks like he's going to be out for a few weeks. Liram Almazi coming in, and he's certainly made of tough stuff, but he is an ageing body out there.
Just looked like he overreached there, and maybe just tweaked a little bit of the hip or the groin, or maybe he's just trying to get a breather as well.
Well, it's been a match that you might say hasn't produced a stack of highlights. Sordo's tried his best with his penalty kick and his bicycle kick exploits in his own half. South Melbourne looking to maybe add to the highlights reel here through Menelau's free kick. Almazi's header away. It's sort of an awkward one. Pope can hook it back across the goal. Away by Almazi, only as far as Pope. Jack Pope going the long way around. Again, getting on his non-preferred. From distance is Charlie Leach, looking to score against his former club, but didn't have the power. So South maybe just coming into this one a little bit now, Matt.
Yeah, last couple of minutes look like they're starting to build into this fixture, and Leach and Pope are really all over the park for South.
Here's Fabrizio looking to go on the counter here as Altona. Dan Fabrizio running at Menelau. Oh, and it's cut off by Aliopoulos. Fabrizio picks it up again. South unable to clear their lines here. That'll frustrate Sinisa Kohadzic. He must be one of the more exhausted football managers in recent history in Australia after all the travelling and all the fixtures he's had to attend. Never seems to get a day off. He's just sat himself back down on the Bunnings chair in front of us. Looking a little bit frustrated. Here's Birchmore. Good run by the youngster Pope. Trying a bit of flair as well with Jack Pope. Just a Rabona to try and play the ball through from Pope. And here's Leach. Birchmore, not on the same page as Doverson. Well played, Alex Gust.
South starting to push more players forward now when they in the attack and try and create some more danger. Only challenge that presents for them is that, you know, Altona like to keep their front three hanging on halfway, and it's almost even numbers on those transitions, but you kind of feel South have to kind of throw the numbers forward if they want to create some chances, because so far in general play it's really just been down to some individual brilliance.
Yeah, it's a good point you make, Matt, and you can see at the moment the fullbacks keep pushing up. Skopoulos had pushed right up at that set piece, defending the Altona's goal kick there. Taken very quickly by Gust, and he finds Zhu. In fact, it's Sordo getting on the end of it. Looking for options in the box. Callard is in there. Alex Gust continues his run. It's a decent ball away. Skopoulos. Sutamo, and the theatrics for the camera there, perhaps, from Charleston. He was at full stretch.
Sutamo's eyes lit up there. He thought it was round one again, and he was going to put himself in for goal of the week.
Well, what a hit that was out at Hume City from him, by the way. Good way to mark your debut in the NPL Victoria. Just with a nice curling wonder strike to upset the hosts in round one. Plenty of space here for Aliopoulos. Here's Bernarda. Callart trying to keep the pressure on. Skopoulos. Bernarda's covering plenty of territory out there. Callart's tracked all the way back to defend. There's no way past Oliver Callart. Or is there now? Bernarda's cross. Almazi and Gus trying to make the clearance. Sordo charging up the middle of Paisley Park, and his touch allows him to find a bit of open space here. Puts it out in front of Zhu. He's got Fabrizio in support. He might go his own way here. It's fired by Zhu. It's deflected away by Inglese. He threw the step-overs at the South Melbourne Central defender there. And Altona win the corner.
Keep in mind, Altona scored off their last set piece, so they'll be confident coming into this corner here.
Looks like it's going to be Kawaguchi over to take. His delivery was on point from that earlier free kick where Almazi was ruled offside. Charleston trying to organise his charges in the penalty area. So it's going to be the in-swinger here. Kawaguchi. Almazi will be the obvious target. Garangaru another one. It's going a little bit too far. Oh, was there a bit of shirt pulling there on Gillard, perhaps, by Ishvir Singh? Not enough to warrant a spot kick. Well, we've given him a bit of praise there, Kawaguchi, for his dead ball exploits, and he's hit it straight over the top.
Yeah, that wasn't the best set piece delivery there from Kawaguchi, and just didn't even make any contact with anyone in the end.
South having some nervy moments for the manager trying to play out, and eventually Charleston hits it long. Leach switches the play. Doesn't quite find its way to Doverson. Now it does from Pope. Doverson running at Alex Gust. Seen him score the spectacular from these sorts of places. Been playing well in the under-23s earlier in the opening 2 rounds of the season, from what we've heard. Fabrizio's flick. Sutamo, the shorter man, rising high. Looks like a decent weight on the ball there from Fabrizio out in front of Sordo, the only goal scorer of the evening. Sutamo. Well, the idea was there, but South Melbourne getting the bodies back to close down the passing lanes. So not too long till the half-time interval here. South Melbourne trying to get themselves on the scoreboard here and restore the parity in this game. Here's Aliopoulos. Well played, Kawaguchi. Callard, the former Hume City winger, has played it into Fabrizio. Well, Callard wasn't expecting that pass, I don't think.
It's hard to say that South Melbourne don't look tired. I mean, there's a lot of walking on that pitch, and again, the energy levels are just not there, which is what really Sinis has been so good at being able to do when he came into South Melbourne, was just lift those energy levels up and get them pressing and getting opposition teams to turn the ball over, and it's just not happening for him today.
Yeah, we'd say it's not quite the usual intensity, but it's not even that. It's quite a way off, you would say, from what you are used to seeing. And understandably, it's not going to be that usual level of intensity that we expect from a South Melbourne team, but it's certainly lacking by some margin at the moment. And it's the opportunity that Altona Magic can try and take full advantage of with perhaps another goal before half-time and make things really difficult for South.
Yeah, you can tell Altona is still cautious. They don't want to throw too many numbers forward and go for the kill quite yet because it's still early in the game, but you do feel if they flick that switch that they'll able to cause South a few more issues.
Oh, it's a raking switch of play from Aru. Can Alex Gus keep this in? He does well to do so. Can play the 1-2 with Sordo. Trying to get in behind Campbell Doverson. Gus plays in the early cross. Didn't catch Inglese off guard though. Sutamo just trying to get that ball to behave itself is the challenge at the moment. It bounced up awkwardly. Oh, one man who's able to control the ball perfectly is Sordo. Here he is on the ball with the socks down. Sitting between the two central defenders for the moment is the left winger. Kept in play by Kawaguchi. Callard now. Altona fancy one before the half-time, you can feel it. Got a 1-1 scoreline over at Fraser Rise between Caroline Springs, George Cross and Dandy Thunder. Thunder having scored first and George is equalising. Sordo switching the play here. Kawaguchi providing the overlap from right back. It's a good weight on the pass too. He's got Skopoulos to beat. And he's given away the free kick here in this match that, well, going back to our earlier conversation, Matt, circling back, it does feel at times like we're watching a little bit of walking football here.
Yeah, and a lot of these fouls in and around the box that Altona have been able to pick up are just from fatigue. You can just see it's fatigue from South Melbourne. I mean, they're struggling to get back and they're just lunging into challenges, and you just see there Bernardo just hands on his legs and leaning over, and yeah, he looks like one player that's, you know, really struggling in this fixture.
We hope you're enjoying this one wherever you're tuning in, whether you're Altona or a South Melbourne fan. Senol NPL Victoria live stream from Paisley Park. South Melbourne looking to keep out Altona, who've already got one on the board tonight through Sordo. This time it's in by Kawaguchi. Charleston punches. Bernardo's going to pick up the crumbs. He's going to win his side throw. South Melbourne fans to our left just urging the players on, just keep going boys, keep working. Some of the fans looking a bit tired as well. Almazi's ball forward, Inglese just puts it out of play. Couldn't come up with any better solution than that.
Key for South is that if they can keep it 1-0, that they're still in the contest, and they're always a threat on set pieces, and you know, even if they get a point out of this game, it's better than nothing.
Here's Fabrizio. Look away pass for Alex Gust, and he's flagged offside. Aliopoulos had made the clearance in any case. Don't see that all the time. Fabrizio looked one way and played it the other.
No, but Altona, as the half is going on, more and more players are starting to get into the box as they create these chances.
Yeah, it's good to see Yori Kawaguchi and Alex Gus getting involved from the left and right back positions. So just a few minutes until half-time here. South Melbourne probably looking forward to that half-time whistle from referee Jack Morgan. Manilau. South win the throw. As we said, no designated long throw specialist in the South Melbourne squad today. Here's Doverson. Gus giving chase. Decent ball by Doverson, and Gillard's able to make the intervention. Oh, that's clever by Alex Gus. He caught it between his knees, I think, there, and kept the ball moving forward. Ishveer Singh with the header, and it's out by Almazi.
Throw-ins like these where, you know, in a situation like this, South Melbourne are usually a huge threat, but without those long throwers, you just can't see how they're going to... Well, he might attempt one, though, here.
Well, it's going to be Shea Birchmore to try and send this one in. It's a slippery ball as well in these humid conditions, and Sutamo's clearance is a little bit miscued. It's gone behind for a South Melbourne corner, so Well, that'll make it easy to play the ball into the box, and you can see the disgust on the face of Goran Lozanowski because that corner was completely avoidable for Sutamo.
Big moment as we close out the half, this one.
You can see plenty of instructions coming from assistant coach Sam Paudakidis as well as Sinisa Kohadzic here for South as they've got their opportunity to prepare this rehearsed set piece. It's all the way back to Birchmore. Plays it into the back post area. Casey Went gets up. The flag was up for offside in any case. Good claim by the keeper nonetheless. As you say, Casey Went, he's not the tallest or the biggest goalkeeper in the competition.
Yeah, not the biggest goalkeeper, but on set pieces, he definitely seems confident to come out and try and make contact, and did well there to get that clean catch, and obviously a couple of South Melbourne players offside.
Well, he's certainly backed himself in so far and looking for his first clean sheet in the Senol NPL Victoria since he's moved down from Queensland. Gillard's header was straight to Skopoulos. A little bit more head tennis in the centre of the park. There's 2 minutes of added time at the end of the 45 here for Ishvir Singh to get in behind. Casey Went out of his goal, has to get creative. Use the head. That must have been just near the chalk there, Matt. Well played. Casey Went in the end. Ishvir Singh got in behind. It was a clever run from the South Melbourne attacker. And he almost had his second goal in the NPL Victoria men's competition there, Ishvir Singh. And you can see the disappointment on his face. He thought he was in behind for a goal to level things up just before half-time, and that would have really changed the complexion of this one.
Yeah, best chance of the half for South Melbourne there. Great ball in behind, and Went was kind of caught in no man's land, and it probably should have been a goal there.
Sordo was pulled down there, was he? He's unhappy at not getting the foul decision going his way. And Glazy just puts it out of play. South Melbourne are hanging out for the half-time whistle here. What have South got up their sleeve in the final minute here? Here's Ishvir Singh, another chance for him perhaps. Doverson on the overlap. Again, well positioned was Gillard, and the shot coming in from Singh. He couldn't really direct it goal bound. He had enough space and time to maybe do a little bit better, but he does win the corner kick, and that'll probably be the last action of this first half, Matt.
Yeah, South Melbourne look a lot more dangerous when their front three are more congested together, and it looks like more of a front two, and they have a bit more of a direct approach. I think the intention to try and keep the ball is good, but they look more dangerous when they're direct to that front two.
Well, it's been a long time since Altona Magic got a win in this fixture, but they've got to do some defensive work here again if they want to hold on to their lead. Pope's volley goes straight up and down. In fact, he can make a header of his own volley as Jack Morgan will sound the whistle for half-time at Paisley Park. And it's Altona Magic who have their lead in this one. They've been tipped by many to make the most of this heavily rotated South Melbourne squad and get a result. And it's a 1-0 lead at half-time, courtesy of a spot kick on 24 minutes, won by Eric Zhu, the New Zealand striker, and it was converted by Aman Sordo. Charleston got a touch, but he couldn't keep it out. Some other moments in that one. Al Marzi thought he'd scored from a Kawaguchi set piece. He was flagged offside. And a yellow card for Al Marzi and Inglese each. And the closest that we saw South Melbourne coming was Ishvir Singh getting in behind, and some inventive technique required from Casey Went to keep him out. But on the balance, Altona maybe deserved the lead, you'd think, at half-time, Matt.
Yeah, outside of that chance for South Melbourne towards the end of the half, almost the perfect half for Altona, and they've done everything you'd expect them to do against a heavily rotated South Melbourne team. I think South have got some things they need to address at half-time, and the game is still there for them to pick up points and pick up something out of it, but something's going to have to change because the approach in the first half just didn't quite work for them.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing what's in store in the second half of this intriguing battle between Altona Magic and South Melbourne. And you can join myself, Steve Curtin and Matt Sultana for the second 45 after this short break. But we will let you go and put the kettle on here from Paisley Park. We're at half-time, courtesy of the spot kick from Eamon Sordo. It's Altona 1, South Melbourne 0. We'll be back after this short break.
Was it 15? Yeah. Dude, this kid has messed with my mind.
Where is he then?
It's down here. It's a bit high, man.
Was he talking into it?
Yeah. I'll yell at him later.
Do you want us to hang it up on the channel?
No, I don't like it up here because I'm getting feedback. So. I'm not too fast.
There's always something that goes
There's always someone,
There's always,
yeah.
whatever you do, there's always something going on. You feel like yeah. Yeah, someone could have a massive goal. Yeah. One of those games where they're playing a sport like this. And you think if the match last night wasn't in Melbourne, what would they have done? They had to take over a bunch of substitutes. Yeah.
Well, I think the next circuit we're going to have that box. So we've got like one or two fixtures that
Yeah, against Gully, they're going to play. Is it Fiji or next time?
they're going to play Solomon. I had another one. So it's going to go on. We're in the
and they're just places where there could be massive.
Hey, you know what? I haven't even had a chance to show my Bro, you know what? Wouldn't look so good because you get so much. That's why. Fuck, bro. I'll get two shots at me. One of them goes through the bottom corner. And then I'll get no action. Go second half then. Oh my god. I mean, when in the practice match, yeah? You shot it and you know, I went to the boy every time. What's it called? When you could see the fight. Okay, fucking move the ball. Okay, fucking hell, time. I'm gonna face my hand in the fuck? Where, why? I can't say no, let me see. Did he score after that? Yeah, they scored. Okay, use the ball, and the guy.
They've been stressing about them. They've been stressed about the graphics.
Like how they're like chipping and spinning. There's always like something jumping out. It's good. The colour schemes that they've used, like they're all like nice colours. Like it just all looks like really pro. You watch a stream from a few years ago.
Streaming game.
I thought they were good at the time.
I did netball the other week. And last year their stream was like nothing. Like it was just score on the teams. Crazy this year. Yeah. They got like their own ad rates, everything. It's crazy. I think everyone's looking up.
Battery charge has gone well. Mine hasn't gone down.
Oh really? Sweet.
Maybe yours is charging.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know.
Must be. It's plugged in.
I'll make it for the other half.
The lights.
This one's for us.
Sorry, what?
Agnes. I'm tired. Tired, man.
Board ready to go. Yep, guessed it right.
Guys ready?
Well, hello and welcome back to Paisley Park for the second 45. Altona and South Melbourne in this Senol NPL Victoria Round 3 competition. And it's Altona leading. We're going to see a South Melbourne sub here at halftime. Looks like one of the players got some minutes off the bench last night. James Lackey coming on. So hopefully he's not too exhausted from his efforts on what was also a warm and humid night last night as well. Looks like he's going to be replacing Ishveer Singh. So that substitution is about to take place. And if you have just joined us, it is Armain Sordo's 24th minute penalty converted and dispatched past Jake Charleston after it was won by Eric Zhu. Altona coming back out onto the field. Thanks for your company for the second 45. My name's Steve Curtin. Pleasure to be able to describe the next 45 minutes of this one to you. And alongside me, welcome back to the commentary position for the second 45, Matt Sultana.
Yeah, big second 45 minutes for both sides here. Singh coming off and Lucky coming on. You'd assume he'll play as a winger, and it looks like Bernard is going to move into a more central position as the 9, and he'll definitely test the Altona centre-backs a little bit more, who really went untested in the first half.
Oh, we're just about all set. Jack Morgan is just going through his final head count before we get things back underway for the second 45. South Melbourne with a little bit of work to do, and they look a little bit fatigued at the end of that first half. Bernard is not showing any signs of tiring in the opening seconds as he sprints forward to try and press Casey Went. So, yeah, confirmation of that change. James Lackey coming on. He's going to be lining up on the left-hand side, this near side. And it does look like, as you predicted, Matt, it looks like Bernardo has moved into the number 9 role for South for the second half.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see in the second half if South Melbourne can kind of bring that press into this game and try and force some turnovers and create some chances that way.
Headed by Menelaer, finds Pope. Leach has been fouled there, you fancy, by Aru. Advantage might be allowed to be taken here by South through Bernarda. Doverson out wide. One back by Gust. Fabrizio receiving from Zhu. Puts it out in front of Sordo. He just needs it to sit for him there, and it just bounced a little high and allowed Birchmore to come back and knock it out of play for the first corner of the second half. Sordo over to take it for Altona.
That's going to be the challenge for South Melbourne in this second half. They're going to want to throw numbers forward to try and get back in this game, but that threat of those Altona counters are always going to be there.
Well, they've got some good players that they could use to play on the break. Sordo is definitely one of them. Oliver Callart on the other side. So the tall timbers gathered at the back post here. Pope with the defensive header at the near post. He found Leach, who's always fumbled the ball a little bit and opened the door for Brian Sutamo, whose shot was a little bit disappointing for him after scoring that one to strike back in round one. South playing out short initially, and then Charleston does hit it long, straight onto the chest of Alex Gust. Gillard. Callart giving chase. Out in front of Kawaguchi. He's got space to supply the cross here. Fabrizio's in the middle. It's partially cleared by Inglesi, who just stuck a heel out. I'm not sure if that'll impress Sinisa Kohadzic or not, because it could have set up nicely for an Altona player at the top of the box. Fabrizio back to goal, trying to hold off Aliopoulos, who got some good help from Menelau. Again, Menelau not allowing Fabrizio the time on the ball.
This South Melbourne midfield's worked really hard in this contest, and has probably been the bright spot for them throughout. That midfield of Menelau, Pope and Leach has worked really hard to stop all those counters from Altona.
They've got some really good depth in their central midfield positions in the squad, and this trio is, definitely... I think any club in the NPL Victoria would snap at the opportunity to have their services on their roster. And here's one of those men here, Leach. Oh, he's intercepted by El Marzi, who plays it with the outside of the boot, out in front of Zhu. Birchmore sliding in, and well played by the young man. All ball, says Jack Morgan, and he can play it up ahead of him to Campbell Doverson. Running it, Liram El Marzi. One of the young stars of NPL Victoria against a veteran, and it's the veteran who wins out. And now Zhu's got some space here. Fabrizio in support. There's plenty of blue shirts back, though. Zhu's going to try and place it into the top corner. Looking for his first goal was the New Zealander, and he couldn't quite trouble Jake Charleston there.
End-to-end stuff to start this second half, and very open from both sides, who are both pushing for a goal.
Well, it already feels a tad more entertaining than that first 45. You feel that both of these sets of players have got a sniff of what's at stake here, and 3 points for either side to be valuable for different reasons. Good space here for Menelau. Leach with the first time ball. It's a useful one out in front of Doverson. He's got space and time to try and supply the cross here. Bernarda's coming in, and went taking no chances. Had to tip that one over the bar. That might have been going in, Mug.
Yeah, South Melbourne look very fluid now with Bernarda up front. His physical presence and his ability to drop in and connect with players whilst riding challenges is really going to help South push up the park, as you can already see what he's going to give them now in this second half playing up front.
Well, South Melbourne's first corner of the second half. Menelau over to take. Everyone back for Altona, as you would expect. Sitting on this 1-0 lead. So it's going to be the in-swinger from Menelau. Again, South Melbourne with this pre-rehearsed corner kick routine. It's a poor delivery away by Fabrizio. Leach picks up the second ball, plays it in. Bernarda was lurking, and again, a man who's been important for Altona in this second half already, El Marzi, made the initial clearance. South Melbourne can reload here. Good challenge, Gust, and he finds Sordo with it. He's got Zhu ahead of him, and Callart is another option. He likes to find Oliver Callart. And it might sit here for Oliver Callart. Big chance, Altona, and a big save from Charleston.
Yeah, big moment in the second half. Callart finds himself in behind, and South Melbourne really struggled to deal with that ball over the top. No one seemed to be wanting to be the one to clear it, and the ball falls kindly to him, and it's a big save from Charleston to keep them in this contest.
Well, Callart looking for his second goal in Altona colours. He scored a couple for Hume City last season, and he couldn't have come much closer there. And it was Andre Skopoulos who got led a merry dance there by the Altona winger, allowing the opportunity. Charleston saving that one, I think, with his shoulder. In swinging from Kawaguchi. It's over to the back post again, and that's the second corner kick from Kawaguchi in a row that's been overhit. And Goran Lozanowski's not happy with what he's seen.
Yeah, it's a couple of set pieces now from Kawaguchi that he's struggled to put it into a dangerous area, and Goran Lozanowski just telling him, just play it short if you can't get it in.
I can't really blame the wind or anything like that. The wind has completely disappeared again. Leach, all that come off the hand of Almazi, and he's already on a yellow card as well. He's gone down injured. What's the situation going to be here? This is big trouble for Liram Almazi. On his return to Altona Magic, he's going to be sent down the tunnel for an early shower. And this is a huge moment in this game that Altona hold the narrowest of leads in. They're going to have to play the remainder with only 10 men.
Yeah, big moment. South Melbourne, much more direct approach to Bernardo, who does really well to get the flick on. And Leach picks up the second ball, and Almazi comes in flying in there and had to overreach. It was not only a handball, but also a foul. And unfortunately, because Leach was going to be away in on goal there, it's a second yellow and a red card for Altona.
So they're going to have to play the next 37 minutes plus stoppage time with only 10 men here as they sit on this 1-0 lead. Altona, Almazi, he's had an eventful afternoon. He's been at the centre of so many of those South Melbourne attacks, denying them a passage to Casey Went's goal. We thought he'd open the scoring on around 20 minutes when he headed home a free kick from Kawaguchi, only to be ruled offside. He was booked for a challenge midway through that first half, and he's been booked again by Jack Morgan. And it's a long and lonely walk down the tunnel for the unfortunate figure of Liram Almazi on his return to Paisley Park. Menelaw with the free kick. It's away by Gillard. You fancy it'll be Garang Aru to slot in next to Gillard there, Matt?
Yeah, Aru will just drop right back into that centre-back position that he played in round one. And I guess for Altona, the saving grace is they won't have to make a change because their team is quite flexible in that sense. But, yeah, Liram Almazi, he'll feel a little bit hard done by because he only really did commit the 2 fouls in this game. That first one, you know, maybe that one could have been held off, but that second one was clearly a yellow. But, geez, he was holding up that South Melbourne defence, that Altona defence in the first half. So this is a big change for South. Aru's going to have to come in now and support Gillard against Bernardo.
It had been an impressive showing too, defensively, from a bloke who hasn't played a lot of football in recent times.
The unfortunate thing for Altona now is that's 2 centre-backs that are going to be out.
So you fancy Garang Aru will be lining up in defence in next week's fixture as well as the remainder of this one. They've got the visit of St Albans here next week too, so it's another chance for Altona, almost one of those lower table 6-point games next week. But as we've seen this season, they'll back themselves in. The ball came off James Lackey last, the player who got some minutes last night in the OFC Pro League. He came on to replace Andrew Messaruni. Played 27 minutes plus the added time at the end of that one. I guess that's a good opportunity to just get the young guys out there and back up and play a couple of games. Look at this skill from Leach, and he's eventually stopped by Brian Sutamo. Must be 2 of the shortest players in the competition there going toe-to-toe. Here's Leach. Plays his pass behind Doverson. Birchmore providing the overlap. Will Doverson use him or go his own way? Away by Gillard, only as far as the substitute Lackey. And it's taken a deflection, and the South Melbourne fans are urging their players on here to our left because they've got themselves another set-piece opportunity with this numerical advantage after the sending off of Liram Almazi.
Yeah, this will be a big challenge for these young South Melbourne players to see if they can turn around this contest and get something out of it. They'll be looking towards the likes of Inglesi and Bernardo to help them along. So
Leach to take. Plenty of players forward here for South. Oh, and it's just past the post. Jacob Aliopoulos, who scored that crucial header in the OFC Pro League on Saturday, last Saturday, against Auckland. Wasn't too far away there. Good delivery as well, Matt.
Yeah, really good delivery and first warning signs there from Altona. South Melbourne always a threat on these set pieces, and Aliopoulos, good contact, and it just goes a little bit wide in the end.
Not far away at all. So South Melbourne close to levelling things up there. It's their best moment of this second half so far. That man again, Aliopoulos with the header and another one. Sordo couldn't bring it down, and Doverson is daylight robbery. He's stolen the ball and he's taken off at a rate of knots. Bernardo was throwing himself at it. He just couldn't quite make contact. It stays in play for James Lackey. This is a good moment for South. Is there a goal coming? Birchmore going the long way around Sordo. Birchmore plays it in off the foot of Gust. Sutamo plays it up, a bit of a rainmaker. All hands on deck now for Altona to defend against this numerical advantage that South Melbourne have. You just feel that South have got a bit of wind in their sails in the last 5 minutes. Skopoulos. Leach, he's been busy since half-time. Gillard attacked it, but he's lost out. Eventually he gets it back again, does Gillard. Couldn't find Callard. So some nervous moments here for Altona. The 10 men trying to hang on to this 1-0 lead. A pass is intercepted well by Alex Gust, and he looks to play it forward quickly, but maybe a little bit too quickly. Matt, what can Lozanovsky do now in this situation? It looks like they're under siege all of a sudden.
Yeah, they've got to ride the wave a little bit here of this South Melbourne pressure and try and soak it up for the next 5 or 10 minutes, and then try and slow the game down and get it back down onto a slower pace that they can manage. But it looks like they'll go to the bench to try and find some sort of reinforcement, but they're under absolute siege here from South Melbourne.
Well, South just slowing it down a little bit after a frenetic period of attack. Skopoulos and these young players, they know only one way, and that's to go forward. Aliopoulos, he's taping on his knee, he's completely fallen off almost. And Glazer out wide. Space for Birchmore to play the cross in. Leach, of all people, was the target. It's going to fall again here for Charlie Leach. Oh, it's smashed home by Bernardo. Well, there was appeals for a handball. Bernardo didn't waste any time. He took the shot and he levels things up. That goal had been coming, and South Melbourne get things back onto parity here. It's 1-1 at Paisley Park.
Here, a ball into the box, and Altona didn't deal with it very well to clear it in that moment. And then the shot and the appeals for handball, and everyone just stopped, and Bernardo just smashes it in the back of the net.
Well, Oliver Callard there, it might have come off his arm, but it was to his chest and to his body. I fancy it would have been play on, and if he had a challenge for the ball, he might have been able to make the clearance even. Who knows? We'll never know now, but what we do know is that Noel Bernardo does what he did what he does best, and he pounced on the opportunity, lashing it past Casey Went.
Yeah, Bernardo using all his experience there to make sure a chance like that ends up in the back of the net.
Just the reaction time there was superior to anyone else in the area. And the Argentinian getting his first goal in the league to go with just the one that he has in the OFC Pro League so far this season. And now, all of a sudden, Altona, I won't say they've got a mountain to climb because they're still level, but that numerical disadvantage that they've got to deal with, it's definitely counting against them at the moment. Forward by Skopoulos. Battle of the young player and the experienced attacker there. Gillard did pretty well.
The only thing Altona have got probably still going for them is that South Melbourne's bench doesn't have a lot of experience on it. So it'll be interesting to see how deep Sinisa goes into his bench. So if they can kind of ride this wave and let things settle, they still might find themselves in the contest late.
Well, Goran Lozanowski was preparing a sub or two perhaps, and a goal just happened to eventuate a little bit earlier than the change that could be made. Oh, here's Bernarda again. It's bouncing awkwardly. Bernarda! It's 2 for Noel Bernarda! And he's turned this game in a matter of seconds into the favour of South Melbourne. And that fence, he's ran into that fence before and he's done it again as well. It's a colourful period here for Bernarda. He might have hurt himself running into that fence, but 10 out of 10 for the effort on the celebration.
Yeah, another ball into the box, and it looks like this time Kawaguchi again struggles to deal with it, struggles to clear his line. The ball falls for Bernarda, and again, Bernarda doesn't waste that chance and buries it in the back of the net.
It was almost similar to the first goal that he scored as well, from a similar position. It wasn't really about the placement. The power took it past Casey Wendt, who really had no chance. He's popped the hands up to try and block the shot, but the ball had already hit the back of the net at that point in time.
What an impact Bernarda's made moving up into that 9 position here in this second half. He's been so influential in getting South ahead in this contest.
Well, that was the change at half-time that you were calling for, Matt, and that's worked a treat with Bernarda coming in from the wing to that central position. And his ability to react in those moments. Altona unable to clear the penalty area, and Bernarda just punishing Altona mercilessly. And there could be more here for Charlie Leach, the former magician. He tees up Lucky and he couldn't keep his shot down. He just got under it a little bit too much, but it was a good would-be assist by Charlie Leach.
And Altona at 6s and 7s here now since that red card. They've really fallen apart a little bit, and it's all South Melbourne, and you just feel if it stays this way, South Melbourne are going to run away with this game.
Well, it just underscores the stability that they were getting from Liram Almazi out there in central defence. So, if you have just joined us, no Johnny Stojcevski in defence, out injured last week, going down with a bad injury to his ankle in the latter phases of the loss at Oakley Cannons.
Yeah, you can't understate what losing, probably 300 combined games between those two centre-backs probably would be.
Yeah, massive value, the experience at this level from those guys. We mentioned as well Brandon Lawton, the off-season signing, not a central defender, but also another good leader, experienced at this level and higher, who's not out there either. We're going to see the double change now for Altona Magic, and it's going to be Sordo, the goal scorer, and Sutamo, the two players being sacrificed here, and it's going to be a chance for the young 22-year-old Altona product, Gavin Tasevski, coming on in the number 13 jersey, and the got the other player coming on, Joffrey Lino as well, is in the number 14 jersey as well. Looks like he's lining up over there on the far side of the attack as Joffrey Lino, another one of the off-season signings here at Paisley Park.
Yeah, consistency was really the name of the game for Altona last season in terms of lineups. They had probably one of the most consistent lineups in the league, very minimal injuries. But it is worth noting that they did make a name for themselves last year about beating the teams all around them, and that's what they're really good at. So this is definitely not a fixture that you'd be accustomed to an Altona to winning, but there was an opportunity here today to pick up points against one of the better sides.
Ball over the top, Bernarda, who's on a hat-trick now. Casey went out to claim. Well, it just underscores as well, Matt, how important those upcoming games are at home next week. This time next week against St Albans, and then again against the promoted Bentley Greens the following week. They're the teams that they need to beat if they want to repeat what they did last year, which was a good performance in the situation. It's away by Menelau. It was a clever layoff by Alex Guss, but he couldn't find anyone in a red and black shirt. Bernarda's offside this time. He won't mind too much that he's been flagged offside. No one loves a goal more than Noel Bernardo, and he got 2 in a matter of a couple of minutes to change the complexion of this one. Good pressure, Skopoulos. South fans have really found voice to our left.
Yeah, and that South Melbourne press that wasn't there earlier in the first half is definitely here now. Obviously, playing against one less player helps, but the energy that they're playing with is noticeably different.
Well, South are going to make their second change now. And it's going to be that man who started against Hume City in their last league outing, Ethan O'Sullivan, coming on. And it's a round of applause for the 20-year-old Che Birchmore. Good shift from him in the league after he put in a couple of good performances in the OFC Pro League off the bench. One in their last game in the Port Moresby hub.
He did a good job keeping Sordo relatively quiet in that first half and keeping South Melbourne in this contest, which has allowed them to be ahead now.
Aru's shown too much of the ball to Lackey here. Tasevsky back to do the covering. Doverson looking dangerous as well. And that recovery speed from Aru is it's almost unparalleled. He got back there and mopped up after his initial error. Alex Gust has got the accelerators on as well. Here's Lino. Joffrey Lino, the fresh legs. Long strides down the far side of the touchline there, but he's eventually dispossessed. And Lucky's going to be flagged for offside here.
Yeah, Altona, they're going for it now. 2-1 down. They've obviously got 10 men, but they feel that this is a game that they need something out of, and they're definitely not throwing caution to the wind here.
I do like it with Goran's tactics. They don't die wondering. It was the same thing last week down at Jack Edwards against Oakley as well. They threw everything at it, and well, we thought we'd seen an equaliser from Garang Aru. It was ruled out for a handball, and then they stayed committed until Salmon sealed the deal for a 3-1 win for Oakley in that one. It's entertaining.
Yeah, it is, and it's a worthwhile gamble. They're obviously just gambling on the fact that South Melbourne have some inexperienced players out there, and that they might make a mistake that can get them something out of it.
Well, how important now was that save early from Jake Charleston from Oliver Calla early in this first half. You think if Altona had gone 2-0, maybe it might have been just a long, long way back for South, but how this game has turned, the opportunistic and the quick reactions of Noel Bernardo, not once but twice in this one to take them from a 1-0 deficit to a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, you'd say both teams have had 2 big chances each, and South have put 2 in the back of the net, and Altona have only put 1.
That's perfect pass from Wendt. Finds Gust. Puts it out in front of no one in particular, though. Here's Pope. He hasn't been the busiest player in this second half. Good first touch by Lackey to try and ask some questions of Kawaguchi. Here's the substitute to Seski. His pass is overhit, but credit to Gavin Taseski. He's got to be the only player out there with his shirt tucked in, and you don't see that very often these days. He's something of a throwback in midfield there. Played forward by Aru. Good positioning there by O'Sullivan. Oh, Bernardo's cleaned up the youngster Gillard here. Well, Altona can't afford to have any more central defenders go down injured, that's for sure.
On the balance of the game, I don't know how that's not a yellow card, given that Liral Mahamazi gets booked twice for tackles that are less than that.
Well, Bernardo a little lucky in that instance. Altona just need a spark of inspiration from someone here. They've got that numerical disadvantage of 10 against 11, but they are playing against a match-weary side of South Melbourne players, fielding a blend of youth and experience, and plenty of inexperience too at this level. Well, there's the longest South Melbourne throw we've seen today from O'Sullivan. And it's hoiked up in the air by Gavin Tasevsky, and another corner for South Melbourne will be the result.
One thing that will, it's quite evident in a fixture like this is how match hardened these South Melbourne players are, though. I mean, although they don't play many games together and there is a lot of inexperience and a lot of mismatches out there, they've just played so much football over the break that you can tell they're really seasoned in moments like this to probably see out this fixture.
I think this is their 10th competitive game this season already. If I'm right, it might have had more if they hadn't had matches postponed. Aliopoulos at the near post. Oh, Altona just about get it away. Lino had stayed up as the outlet man, and he couldn't quite bring it under his spell. Menelau charging forward. He hasn't got forward too many times. He's been holding that defensive midfield role on lockdown. And here goes Lino. What can he conjure up here, running at Skopoulos with the long strides? Here's Johnny Mabok. Decent ball in. Lino was there. Well, out of nothing there for Altona Magic. A little bit of a spark. I was almost met with stone silence and astonishment from the home crowd that didn't react, but that could have been 2-2.
Yeah, ball just gets played into the box and it bounces on its way in, and Lino was just floating at the back post there, and it was a half chance there for Altona to get back in this game.
Oh, it was really fizzed in by John Mabok, player who's experienced this level with the Melbourne Knights. Scored 6 goals in the third tier at Werribee City last season. Play-on's been allowed here. Little 1-2. Oliver Kellart tries to beat the keeper at the near post. Charleston equal to it. I think it might have taken a touch on the way through to the South Melbourne shot stopper. Well, here's these tired legs now, Matt. Menelau's gone down.
Yeah, the last couple of minutes, South Melbourne just starting to struggle a little bit. Players not really tracking back, and we see Menelau going down here. Looks like he'll have to come off, and yeah, a lot of weary legs for both sides. Obviously, Altona playing with 10 as well, so a lot of tired players out there.
Fancy we might get a bit of time added on at the end of this one for stoppages that I'm sure will become more and more frequent. We're watching under 23s. They were pausing for drinks breaks in the earlier match. Such was the warmth. It has cooled down a little bit now. It's sitting on 25, so a little bit more pleasant. Good conditions for spectators, that's for sure.
Obviously, Menelau coming back from what was a pretty hefty injury in the OFC Pro League that he copped in probably what was one of the most chaotic games of football you'll ever see. I think
a lot of red cards in that one.
4 red cards.
Coach sent off.
Coach sent off as well. So South got plenty of experience playing against or with a numerical advantage, that's for sure.
Well, it's good to see that he's recovered and he's back out there playing football again, because he copped the brunt of the studs to just above the ankle in that particular challenge, which saw his opponent sent off on a VAR decision in Port Moresby. Another change coming up here for South Melbourne. It's going to be the 21-year-old Thierry Papadimitriou coming on. Gets his opportunity, so just about clearing the bench here is Sinisa Kohadzic. We've got around 15 minutes to go in this one. Altona not out of it, as we saw with that good ball in by John Mabok that almost found Lino a moment ago, but it's been few and far between since they went down to 10 men with the sending off of Liram El-Mazi for 2 yellow cards. Doverson was offside there, but he barely even got a touch on the ball to warrant the referee's whistle. Just going around the grounds. George Cross have come from behind to now lead Dandenong Thunder 2-1 going into stoppage time over at Fraser Rise. And again, those earlier scores today Avondale 5-0 winners against Green Gully. Hume City 1-0 winners against Bentley Greens. Not sure if we're going to call this red card day, but we have had 3 red cards in NPL Victoria with still some minutes still to come. So look, maybe this is a red card day here on Saturday in round 3 of NPL Victoria.
Yeah, looks that way.
What have they got in store here? This is Lino. Lines it up for Mabok. Oh, that was the moment that the crowd was ready to leap to their feet. And it was straight into the breadbasket for Jake Charleston, who can breathe a sigh of relief. Well, those 2 substitutes, Lino and Mabok, they seem to have some sort of ESP. They are combining very well down that left-hand side for Altona Magic, and they have to be giving Goran some hope that they can get themselves something out of this game still, as Bernardo looks to tee up a teammate. Only succeeds in finding Gavin Taseski. Bernardo's coming back from the offside position. Oh, Doverson. Oh, a good challenge, Aru, and it had to be.
Yeah, we saw earlier in round 1, John Mabok's ability off the bench to cause trouble for teams.
He's proving to be a good signing as a bit of an excitement machine coming up from the VPL2, coming up a couple of divisions. As we said, he's played at this level before. He knows what it's all about. Good touch off the chest, Kalla. Altona trying to turn on a little bit of style here despite trailing and being a man down. Kawaguchi gets away from Lucky. That's a clever pass to find Kalla, who can cut back the cross here. He dinks it into the back post, and there's the acrobatics. Dan Fabrizio got parallel to the ground there, looking for his 3rd in 3 games. That would have been something special.
Yeah, good moment there from Altona, building up well here on this right-hand side and being able to find a moment where they can deliver across. And as we're watching the replay now, I wonder if Fabrizio could have just brought that down there. He had a lot of time in that box. It looked like the South Melbourne players were just backing off him.
Might have had time, as you say, Matt, to maybe chest that one down and try and bury it past Jake Charleston. He went for the spectacular. It was entertaining. Didn't have the clinical effect that he was hoping for. Now South are taking their turn to just slow things down a little bit.
It's a couple of good moments now for Altona in a row.
There's always plenty of fight in Goran Lozanovski's Altona side. No matter what they come up against. Very often squads that consist of many more valuable players than they have at their disposal, but they always get something out of the games when they have to. Goal here to equalise, given the circumstances, would feel pretty good after having played with 10 for more than half an hour in this second half. Skapoulas plays it forward. Gillard will get there first. And he's hit that one, Mr. 7-9, straight up in the air. Kawaguchi, he had a bit of a tug of James Lucky's shirt, and he went down in instalments there, James Lucky, and Jack Morgan told him to keep playing. Not the best ball forward by Aru, by his standards. Lucky's got space here. They've backed off a little bit. Challenge was by Fabrizio. Leach receiving from Doverson. You can see South just trying to play the ball laterally here and take the sting out of things after those dangerous attacks by Altona in the last 10 minutes, Matt.
Yeah, still 10 minutes to play, and like you said, we're probably going to be 3 or 4, maybe even 5 minutes of added time. So a good 15 minutes left in this contest. So wise from South to try and keep the ball and frustrate Altona a little bit.
It looks like South preparing the youngsters to get an opportunity here. Thomas Killick and Angus Angelatos. He's got the hairstyle of a young Lionel Messi there, Angus Angelatos. Jack Pope has completed his shift for the evening. So he's replaced by Thomas Killick, who's going to line up on the left wing. Angus Angelatos slotting into, looks like the number 10 role.
Yeah, Jack Pope, a real energy machine for South Melbourne up and down the park. So you'd hope Angelatos can do the job as well, because we're going to need that.
Well, it was a solid first early contact for Thomas Killick. Saseski not wasting any time. Got the thumbs up from the coach. Played forward by Angelatos. Bernarda back to goal. He'd almost be happy to head for the corner flag. It's a bit early for that, though. This is Killick, has his cross blocked. Plenty of encouragement for these two youngsters that have just come on for South. Campbell Dovison making the long way around back to the bench after being substituted. Skopoulos plays it in. There's not really anyone there. Thought about coming and decided to back off. Good effort by Lackey to keep running and tackling there after we mentioned he was the only player to feature last night out of this group of players, getting some match minutes in the OFC Pro League against South Island United. South fans are definitely glad they made the trip out here at the moment. They weren't looking so happy at half-time.
No, they weren't. You'd say for an NPL fixture, South have unloaded the bench pretty early. You'd imagine these last 10 minutes that if anyone goes down, you could see a situation where we might be like 10 versus 10.
So there's a chance that it could turn back into advantage Altona. But at the moment, the momentum shifts have slowed down as South lead this one. They do try the long throw this time. It's the first time this evening. It's O'Sullivan who's the long launcher since coming on off the bench at right back. Chance to get the ball in here. Oh, Killick just couldn't quite control that one. Come off the groin area there. Awkward height to control. It's a good distribution by Casey Wen. He finds Kawaguchi. Running at Skopoulos. Oh, he's overhit the pass there, Kawaguchi. You can see the frustration in the Altona technical area. Hands on heads.
He's not had the best game, Kawaguchi. His set-piece deliveries haven't really been there tonight, and it's moments like that where he struggled, but also, too, those two goals that South Melbourne have scored have virtually come directly from his inability to clear the ball out of the box.
As I say, it's the little things that get you, and it certainly has been the case for Altona tonight. Charleston taking his time to try and run the clock down a little bit more. There's still time for Altona. The 10 men, they've had a couple of good moments. With this man here, Geoffrey Lino, and it's going to be a yellow card as Lino wins the free kick. Looks like it's Papa Dimitriou who's gone into the book. Jake Charleston roaring at his players to concentrate and set up their defensive structure here to defend this free kick.
It's going to be a hard one. It's right down the middle, but it's not really shooting distance, and it's going to be hard to whip in across because the angle's just not going to be there.
Yeah, it's really neither here nor there, this position. It's going to require something inventive, something special perhaps. And maybe Kawaguchi can redeem himself here with a really, really good delivery. So some of the taller targets there. Lino, Gillard, Aru, Mabok. Kawaguchi lifts it in. And it's away by that South defence. Taseski picks up the second ball. It's blocked by Leach. Was that a handball? Well, it might have come off the neck area almost, but it's been given a free kick, and this is in a better position, Matt.
Yeah, he's in a much better position there. Clear handball there. His arms raised, and just a little bit lucky that one was outside the box. It was very close.
Yeah, Jack Morgan's put down the spray there to mark the location. I thought it was almost a foot or so closer to the paint of the 18-yard box. Oliver Callard is interested in this one, so is the left-footed option, Kawaguchi. Well, some nervous moments here for South as they've been really good in the second half, getting that numerical advantage. Bernarda lashing 2 shots past Jake Charleston in almost as many minutes midway through this half to swing this one, but can Altona swing it back in their favour here through this set piece from Kawaguchi? Oh, Charleston punching it away, and on the follow-up, Fabrizio couldn't keep his attempt down, and you just wonder if he could have kept that under the crossbar. Would have Charleston had time to react and get back up to his feet?
Yeah, Kawaguchi opts to shoot, and Charleston decides to punch, and the ball falls to Fabrizio, and really just hits him on the way through and goes over the bar.
Well, there was that bit of space at the near post for Kawaguchi to aim at. If he had have got a little bit closer to that right hand upright as we look at it, maybe he could have beaten Charleston there. Charleston might not have had a good look at it. Maybe that was why the reason he decided to punch rather than catch. So not too long to go for this weary South Melbourne side. And Charleston's put that one straight into touch, and Killart's not going to waste any time. He's going to play it forward here. That was a little bit further forward than where it went out. Kawaguchi. That's a good bit of play to win it back by Killick and Bernarda combining. Here's Leach directing the traffic ahead of him. There's 2 balls on the pitch. A big challenge to Seski. Took out the man almost in a professional foul sense. And again, Leach using his body really well to screen there, winning the free kick.
If you're Altona, you'd be up in arms as why the game didn't get stopped. There was a ball clearly on the pitch. It was right in front of the play as well.
I'm not sure how long it had been sitting there, if it had even been thrown by the fans in front of us too, perhaps. I don't know. Well, it's the advantage going the way of South now, who can take their time over this set-piece opportunity.
4 back for South Melbourne. They're not taking any risks.
Altona have kept 2 up. Mabok and Lino. That's going to be O'Sullivan with the delivery to the back post area. Went, decides to punch. Leach was lurking. Fabrizio put him off his shot. Not too long to go in this one. We hope you've been enjoying the action. It's been an unusual game, this one, you have to say. We've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you here, both myself, Steve Curtin and Matt Sultana on the Senol NPL Victoria live stream in round 3 of the competition. South look the goods to get their second maximum of the season after getting a win in round 1. Leach has been a standout this afternoon. Aru working hard. I think it came off Garang Aru last. No, in fact, it's going to be an Altona throw. Leach doesn't want to give the ball back. Not a lot of malice, but a bit of frustration there on both parties' parts. Forward by Wentz. Good header, Aliopoulos. Fabrizio. Back to goal and a long way from home. And the box going to win the throw here. It came off Skopoulos last.
Just sense a bit of nervousness from South Melbourne here.
Well, the door could be ajar for the Magic against this young group of South Melbourne players that have come on off the bench. Charleston is good enough this time. 4th official is ready to hold the board aloft to indicate how much added time we'll have. Young Bailey Panuto down there, and he's indicating an additional 4 minutes, so there's not too long for South to hang on. But the 10 men of Altona might just fancy themselves still to have one more opportunity to grab a point out of this one, and they might feel that it's what they've deserved after being up against it a little bit in the second half with 10 men. As Lucky plays it in, well, he had one option in the box.
A banana there at top of the box. You'd imagine unmarked he'd be able to finish that.
Decided to go for Killick instead, and straight to the keeper. Cowart coming in and come off him last. So Bernarda's goals in the 60th and 62nd minutes.
It's really an 8-minute spell that seemed to have done the trick for South Melbourne here after that red card.
Mabok, Fabrizio. Was he held back? Altona asking a couple of questions of this young group of South players. They're looking tired as well. Went coming right out of his box. Bit of argy-bargy there, and Lino is the judge to have committed the foul, and it's music to the ears of South Melbourne and Sinisico Hadzic. They can just slow things right down here again, and he goes into the book. It might have been a high elbow.
Yeah, this will give opportunity for South Melbourne to just slow the game down now and set themselves up and be able to put the ball forward and try and get it into the corner.
Well, Sinisico has got to be happy with his last night, going 1-0 down, coming back to win 4-1, getting the 3 points in the OFC, and then having to juggle this tonight, a match that they were tipped to maybe not pick up any points out of due to the commitments that they're trying to juggle, and might be coming away with 6 points in the space of 24 hours.
Yeah, it's been a theme of South Melbourne even in the Pro League, going down 1-0 early and being able to fight back and get results. But I think what we've seen tonight is just the amount of match minutes they've put into the players over the last 2 months has probably worked in their favour, and obviously the red card's a big flashpoint in this game.
Well, it was Papademetrio, who was a player who'd suffered the foul from Lino. And Glazy just smashes it forward. So will we have a bit more time added on top of the original 4 minutes? You fancy that we will. But it's almost time for Banana to take it to the corner here. Lucky on all fours. Winning it back was Angelatos. Looking for Killick. The two youngsters just fresh off the bench, combining well. Killick trying to take it down to the quadrant next to the corner flag. Bernarda. Lost out to Mabok. Alex Gust. Just about last roll of the dice here for the Magic. It's a foot race. Inglese got there first. And he's hit that one over the roof, just about to the Altona Phoenix ground. The spare ball on hand. Driven in by Garangaroo.
Glacy moving gingerly after that sprint back.
He was going at full gas there, wasn't he? Look at this skill from Aru. Waltzes around Charlie Leach. Will he keep his run going here? Oh, it was clever by Callart, but it was well read by the wall of 11 blue shirts that are back there to defend. And whistles in the crowd are starting to sound here for South Melbourne. Taseski, Fabrizio. Receiving from Lino was Gillard. Just unable to fashion an opportunity out of it was Altona. And still it might sit here for Lino, who gets the shot on goal. It's fumbled by Charleston. Well, that could have been a nervy moment there for South. And Altona's out of time as they collapse to the ground in disappointment. And the South Melbourne players embrace Jake Charleston, who played an important part, coming up with a couple of big saves in that second half. One memorable one to deny Oliver Callart to a shot that would have made things 2-0. In the end, it was the sending off of Liram Almazi and a fine double. Some professional play from none other than Noel Bernarda to pounce on two opportunities in the space of 2 minutes and turn the game on its head. And South Melbourne, for the second night in a row, after going a goal down, they take away the maximum points.
Yeah, game of two halves. South Melbourne really in the first half weren't in the contest, and Altona unfortunately paid the price for not killing the game off when South weren't in it, and that change at half-time to put Bernarda up front, and obviously the red card to Liram Almazi. They'll feel a little bit hard done by Altona with the two yellow cards, but credit to South and credit to Banana, who took those two chances and gets a big 3 points for his side in this game.
Well, Bernarda certainly enjoyed his 2 goals and swinging in the game, so much so that he decided to absolutely poleaxe himself on the fence in celebration of the second one. Altona, they put in a good shift tonight, but it just wasn't enough, and the group of young players from Paisley Park doing their best with 10 men But they had no answers to the quality of Noel Bernardo, who turns out to be the match winner tonight, along with a couple of big saves from Jake Charleston after he got some hands to a penalty shot from Sordo that gave Altona the initial lead in this one. But that's the way it ends here, with the Clarendon Corner rejoicing their second win in 24 hours here. This one in the league. It's their second win in the NPL Victoria from 3 starts. Their busy schedule will continue, but they'll probably fancy themselves next week when they take on the Bentley Greens in the home match. But not at home. It's at the home of the Matildas next Saturday. They'll fancy themselves to get another win there, but a busy schedule with a couple more hubs coming up after that. Do you think they can keep this going, Matt?
Yeah, that's a big 3 points today for them. It gives them a bit of breathing room and keeps them away from those teams towards the bottom, which we're seeing it's very congested. So they'll be happy with the win today, and they'll enjoy this little bit of a break that they're going to have. And you'd imagine they're going to go into this next lot of fixtures feeling like they can go on a bit of a run.
Well, plenty more football coming away in the Senol NPL Victoria. Tomorrow there's one. It's a must-watch match. Melbourne City, the youngsters looking all right down there at Casey Fields, and they're going to be hosting the Preston Lions, who really turn on the style against St Albans last week on Friday night. Must-watch match at 3 o'clock for your Sunday afternoon on the Senol NPL Victoria live stream. It's been a pleasure working with you tonight, Matt, and bringing everyone at home this contest. It's been an intriguing one. It's had a seesawing feel to it, and in the end, Altona, they have to settle for nothing out of that after taking the lead and looking pretty good at one point, particularly at half-time after that goal from Eamon Sordo. But the double from Noel Bernardo sees South Melbourne taking maximum points for the second time this season. As we can see the youngster getting up on the roof to fetch that ball from that earlier clearance. They make their way off the field, do the South Melbourne players. They win this one by 2-1. Thank you for your company, and good evening.
Then it play matter. The reckon, Donnie, they've only got 2